I've always been like such a go, go, go person. And, I have to take care of everything right now. And you can't go to bed till the dishes are done. And, you're busy. You kind of need all this structure. And I might have been a little extreme. I really just focus on trying to find the joy in every day. And my biggest happiness, I guess, is when I'm with my family and my dogs. I love my dogs. Hi, I'm Lisa, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 non small cell lung cancer with a ROS1 mutation.
Thanks to clinical trials and research, I got to be a grandma.
So I had just graduated from college. I was 40 years old. Very busy, still raising my kids and working and going to school at the same time. And I started having a back pain, but it wasn't a typical like low back pain that you'd strained yourself doing something, but that's what I kept telling myself. It was a little bit higher, like right in the middle of my back. And ultimately, my husband and I took our daughter to California for a vacation, and we were doing SeaWorld and Disneyland. And there were 2 nights that, like, every time I would lay down, the pain was so bad. I felt like I couldn't breathe right. I couldn't sleep. And my husband was like, "We have to go to the ER. We have to figure out what's going on." We were in another state. We went to the ER around midnight, and they, were concerned about my kidneys because of the back pain. They thought I just pulled a muscle because my kidneys were fine. They gave me just a few muscle relaxers and pain meds to like get me through the weekend. And they were like, "Follow up with your doctor when you get home." And the next day we went to Disneyland for 12 hours. I just thought, oh, I must have pulled a muscle. Like everything's fine. I'm 40. I'm healthy. I'm a runner. Like I was in great shape for, I thought at the time. And, you just don't ever think cancer's not on your radar. The pain was intermittent, so I was able to ignore it and push through. Um, During periods of time, I was definitely taking a lot more Tylenol at this point and icing it and getting massages, and nothing was getting better. I actually went on a vacation to see my family in Kentucky, and it got so bad. Coming home from the airport, I was traveling alone, and I remember calling my mom and crying, like, "I can't even walk through the airport right now." And she's like, "Get a wheelchair, just get home, we'll take care of it." And the next morning, we went to the ER again at home. It was the ER doctor that came in several hours later and told my mom, "You have to sit down. It appears that you have stage 4 lung cancer that's already spread to your spine." And I had just lost a friend from lung cancer about 5 months before that. And she was only 43. So I just thought, oh my God, like immediately you think that's your destiny. And who's going to raise my kids? My son was 19, but he still needed me. My daughter was 11. You think you're doing what you can to take care of yourself. And I quickly learned none of that really matters. If you have lungs, you can get lung cancer. And unfortunately, sometimes you're just dealt a crappy hand. I did talk to my oncologist about it, but I was having a great response to chemo at the time. So she just said, when the time comes, we'll look into that. And I was okay with that for a while. And it wasn't until I had progression about 15 months later that we decided to try and do another biopsy to get enough tissue to do biomarker testing. And my tumor at that point, it had a lot of scar tissue around it. It was kind of in a hard spot to access. So we had done 2 needle biopsies through my lung, which were inconclusive. They didn't have enough um, like tumor DNA to actually tell if there were any biomarkers or not. So my oncologist wanted to do another chemotherapy. And at that point, I was like, there's got to be something. It's got to be something better than this. And I switched oncologists. So he pushed for me. And just that validation of like instantly, I was like, this man's going to fight for me. He's going to help me do whatever I need to do for, however long I want to do it. The time it took several weeks to get your results back for that. So it was stressful. You were trying to be hopeful. Plus I was recovering from surgery. So I don't normally answer my phone if I don't know who's calling me, but my phone rang at 10 at night and I answered, and it was Dr. Vogelzang, and he said, "We've got great news. Your results are in and you're ROS1 positive." So he was super excited about it. I knew that meant I was eligible for a targeted therapy, and I was excited I didn't have to do chemo anymore. So it was great. Like it was literally a game changer for me. By the time I found out what my biomarker was, it was 2013. I had already been diagnosed or living with lung cancer for 18 months. So you kind of start getting nervous around that time, like, am I on borrowed time? When's it going to quit working? And which that doesn't go away for people, some people, no matter, how long you're on the drug. But we added chemo to my targeted therapy in hopes it would get me at least to the end of that year, 7, 8 months away, before I could maybe start that drug. Well, I remained stable with that combination for another 5 years. So I was able to stay on my first targeted therapy for 10 years. So by the time I progressed again, after that 5 years, I had a new biopsy. I did have new metastases in places I'd never had before, and it was seemed to be fairly aggressive. It went from nothing on a scan to not insignificant to 2 months later, more than doubled in size. So I knew we had to do something quickly. So we did a biopsy on my 50th birthday. That was fun. And based on those results, I decided to go on a clinical trial. And I just got scan results and I'm still stable. So I'm extremely happy about that. And I feel pretty good on this drug, which is nice. And I don't have to do chemo anymore. And because of that, I've lived long enough to see my first grandson.
This is JJ. He's 7 weeks old and he's our first grandson. And because of research, I get to have this amazing experience. And I am so full of joy and gratitude.
So when I travel, I am on a targeted therapy now. It's in a pill form. I'm able to have my scans at home. When I was diagnosed, my youngest was 11, so she was in fifth grade. And honestly, my first goal is I thought, just let me see her graduate high school. I just felt like if I could at least give her that much, get her there. So, of course, I was the loud, crazy lady at her graduation, so excited and crying and bawling. I have since got to see her graduate college. I have just had our first grandson this year. And my son, he was older, he was 19, but he still needs some help. And I've been able to see him kind of flourish and find his way in this world. And my husband and I, we love to travel and we love to eat. And I have a great friend group here. We do trivia every week. My parents live 2 miles from me. I just hung out with my mom all day the other day, and I know I'm lucky that I can do those things. And I've always been like such a go 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 person. And I have to take care of everything right now, and you can't go to bed till the dishes are done. And you're busy, you kind of need all this structure, and I might have been a little extreme. So now I don't care if there's dishes in my sink. And I'm like, I don't let external things, I try not to let external things get me down. And I really just focus on trying to find the joy in every day. And my biggest happiness, I guess, is when I'm with my family and my dogs. I love my dogs. A lot of times, one of the first questions people ask you when you tell them you have lung cancer is, "Did you smoke?" And that used to make me angry because I felt like it was accusatory. But I really think people, when they ask that question, they're trying, like, if they're non smokers, they're trying to be like, oh, well, that's why you got it. So therefore, I'm okay because I don't do that. I don't honestly think they come from, a bad place, but it makes you feel bad. It makes you feel like you have to defend yourself. And my grandmother died with lung cancer, and she was a smoker her whole life. But do you blame them for their death? I mean, it's not everyone deserves access to care. We have lung cancer, it doesn't matter how we got it. And there are so many risk factors out there, so many that we don't even know how to correlate, but they know contribute to lung cancer. I have friends that are vegetarians and yoga instructors, lifelong runners, people that thought we did all the right things and we still got lung cancer. Cancer doesn't discriminate. Not are they only a huge source of support, but so much knowledge. They have, like, the Ross Wonders in particular on our website. It is scientifically vetted by researchers. It has all of our information about the drug options, what works for us, what doesn't, how to deal with side effects. There's patient stories on there. There's a large community out there that we probably you don't even know existed. And I am proud to be part of the Ross Wonders. And I know these patient groups, they are not just for other patients. Like, we are seen and invited to medical conferences now. I mean, doctors and researchers collaborate with our groups to do better for the people in our community. So please reach out to them if you have a biomarker. It's so important.